Hey guys, I'm back with another Elvis video. I thought I would wear my dad's vintage polyester paisley shirt for this occasion. This isn't from Memphis, it's from Sears Roebuck and Los Angeles. And he's had it for years. You can see the wide collar there and it's really comfortable. He gave it to me because I love it. It reminds me of Elvis in his rehearsals with the band and the vocals, the voices as he would call them, in Las Vegas before his residency at the International Hotel. So I thought it would be fun to wear this while we chit chat a little bit about fashion icon Elvis Presley. So this is going to be in different parts, in different eras. I thought we would start with the Las Vegas residency and the film EPiC Elvis Presley in Concert, because it's still playing in theaters, it's fresh in everyone's mind, and I thought we would take a look at some of his rehearsal outfits and the actual outfits he wore on stage. So I'm really excited about this because Elvis wore things that no one was ever wearing at the time. He was a pioneer in many ways. The way he looked, the way he moved, the way he sounded, the music he created, and all of those shows at the International Hotel, he arranged himself. So he had everything coming, the horns coming in, the voices coming in, all of the, as he likes to say, of the drums. Everything was arranged by him, and he wanted exactly a stellar performance. Even the lighting. So there's a, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a part in the movie where you have to really listen, and I caught it on the fifth time when I watched it. He's talking about the lighting sequence with some of the guys up in the sound booth, and it's during the song I Can't Stop Loving You, when he says, I can't stop loving you. So it's flashing these lights behind him, and he's saying, yes, with my movements, the lights will start flashing along with that. And there's a couple of men in the room that say, oh, wow, you know, that's a technical, they liked it. They loved the idea. And you can subtly hear Elvis say TCB. So he was taking care of business with the lights, the sounds, the stage, the costume, the voices, the instruments, even the orchestra, Joe Hershow's orchestra in the back. He had everything exactly how he wanted, like a well-oiled machine. So I want to go over, I'm going to do a slideshow, and I'm going to go over some of the costumes. Now, these images are from my 5 trips to this date. I'm still going to try to go to a couple more showings as long as it's showing in my theater. These are photos that I took and video that I took from the film because I wanted to discuss it, and I think I got some really good screenshots of what I want to talk about. These are this is going to talk about the International Hotel performance and his different jumpsuits. Also, there's a blue, he wore red, white, and blue. So there's a blue suit, a red suit, and a white suit from Elvis on tour as well. So let's get into Elvis's concert performance, jumpsuits, and some of his rehearsal casual. I don't know that he's casual, but let's look at some of his outfits from the Vegas days. Guys, before we get into it, I have created a playlist, and on my community post, I have updates on all of the Elvis merchandise that's coming out for EPiC Elvis Presley in Concert, Baz Luhrmann's amazing documentary and concert footage of Elvis in his prime. So be sure to check those out. All right, guys, let's talk about Elvis Presley and the costumes that made the king shine. While I was watching EPiC again, something really stood out to me.
Elvis's incredible stage costumes. When people think about Elvis, they often think about the music, the voice, the energy on stage, but the costumes were just as important to the experience. And by the early 1970s, Elvis wasn't performing in small theaters anymore. He was performing in huge arenas filled with thousands of fans. Every person in the building needed to see him clearly from the back row. That's where the legendary jumpsuits came in. These suits were designed by costume designer Bill Belew, who worked closely with Elvis to create outfits that were bold, dramatic, and unforgettable. The jumpsuits were covered in rhinestones, jewels, and intricate patterns designed to catch the stage lights. When Elvis stepped into the spotlight, the suits would sparkle and flash, making him look almost larger than life. One of the suits that caught my attention in the film is the blue jewel jumpsuit. This suit features large decorative stones set across the chest and sleeves. Under the stage lights, those stones reflect light in every direction, making Elvis shine across the entire arena. Another incredible costume is the red sunburst jumpsuit. The rhinestones are arranged in a pattern that looks like bursts of light, almost like fireworks exploding across the fabric. When Elvis moves across the stage, the light dances across this suit as well. And of course, many of these suits were worn with capes. At the end of a song, Elvis would spread the cape wide like wings, creating one of the most dramatic moments in any concert. But these costumes weren't just about appearance. They were also surprisingly heavy. The belts alone were massive pieces of metal and leather that could weigh several pounds. The belts often featured large decorative plates and chains that hung across the front of the suit. Those chains weren't just decorative either. They moved with Elvis while he performed, catching the light and adding motion to the costume. In some of the rehearsal footage from Las Vegas, Elvis can be seen wearing a lighter belt while practicing. The full stage belts were so heavy that rehearsing in them for hours would have been exhausting. Another detail I noticed in the film was how Elvis moved through the crowd. So in one of the moments at the International, when he decides to go down into the audience and make his way across the floor, and he didn't think he was going to make it back, everyone is grabbing at him. They're grabbing at him, they're kissing him, they're touching him, and Joe Esposito is in front, and Colonel Tom Parker is guarding his boy from behind so that no one can claw at Elvis. And he makes it across the stage, but by the time he gets back up on the stage, his hair is completely a mess, and parts of the suit are unsnapped. And so I noticed he had like 5 snaps and the bottom 2 were undone. And I was like, wow, they were grabbing really low on him. I'm like, what were they doing? Were they grabbing at his, pinching his, I was like, you guys need to leave him alone. So they really just destroyed the suit. And I don't even think he realized it when he got back on stage, because he just went into that little sister segment. And I was just looking at those snaps with the chains hanging down. And I was like, oh my goodness, they have destroyed his jumpsuit. I guess the fans loved him so much they literally tried to grab a piece of him. There's also a moment backstage where Elvis is walking with members of his crew, including longtime friend Red West, one of the men who helped protect him during those wild concerts. Watching this film again really reminded me that Elvis wasn't just a singer. He was a full stage performer. Every detail of the show was designed to create spectacle. The costumes, the lights, the band, and the energy of the crowd all came together to create something unforgettable. And when Elvis stepped on stage in those rhinestone jumpsuits, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that they were watching the King. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look of Elvis, the fashion icon, and all of Bill Belew's jumpsuits that he created for Elvis during his touring days, and some of his
casual looks during the rehearsals. I don't know that Elvis was really ever casual, but I hope you liked looking at some of that. I'm going to have another segment on his rockabilly days when he first got his start, and of course that famous gold lame suit, so come back for that. And I also have a playlist, an Elvis playlist, so if you want to watch more videos, go to my playlist. And don't forget the community post. The community post has updates on EPiC Elvis Presley in concert merch coming out. I've just ordered the CD and the double vinyl LP. It's pressed in orange and yellow, the vinyl, and I'll be talking about Moody Blue once I do an opening video on those two items. Can't wait to get them. And yeah, so come on back and let's talk more Elvis. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.